Okay, who wants to read it? Who can see it and wants to read it? Moira. Can you see it and will you read it?
Yeah.
Okay, read it to the class.
Anger is not an emotion, or maybe it is a reaction to an emotion.
Okay. How many of you have experienced anger in your life? Okay, I better see every hand, right? I can't imagine the person that hasn't been angry in their life, although I'm sure it exists. I'm sure there's an exception, all right? When you feel anger, does it feel like an emotion? Okay, I'm getting some yes. I'm getting some this. I'm getting a no. Anger doesn't feel like an emotion to you. So, and then go back to emotions. My two big emotions are hurt and fear, right? You know what it feels like to be hurt emotionally? You feel hurt, right? Maybe you had your heart broken, right? You feel hurt. You with me? Okay? And fear, how about fear? You've been afraid, right? Where you're like afraid. You feel that. Does anger feel the same way as those? So kind of, maybe. Sophia, you gotta hold on that for a little bit. I can see how good that is. Hang on a little bit. What do you think though? Is anger an emotion to you? How many say yes?
Kind of.
Okay, kind of. And how many say no? So here's the way I'm going to present it to you. Remember our example of you're on the freeway with your parents and maybe you're driving now, because a lot of you are very close to that. Somebody cuts across right in front of you. You're not expecting it. They don't signal or anything. You feel what?
Anger.
You feel anger. Why?
Because they cut you off.
Because they cut you off?
Yeah.
Annoyed.
What did you say, Carrie?
Annoyed.
Annoyed? Annoyed is some version of anger, maybe? Annoyed is a hard one. I hear you. I don't know exactly what it is, though. What else? What did you guys say over here?
Do you feel like fear?
So I think the way it goes like this is, look, they cut across you. You instantly feel fear. And then you react to the fear with anger. Why? Because you don't want them to put you in that situation again. You don't like that fear. The fear is terrible for us, right? We don't like it. So now we're angry at them, and so we want to stop them from ever doing it again. So my proposal to you is, and why do you feel the fear? Just quickly on that. I think we talked about it in this class before, right? We talked about they may kill us on this one, right? I may be dead. You ever had that thought where you're like, so this is how it ends for me? Right? And it's weird. We have these a lot in our lives. You're like going into some situation and you're like, oh my gosh, this is way more serious than I thought. Maybe this is how it ends for me, right? Which is so weird for to think about, okay? But I've gone into things where I'm like, oh my gosh, so this is it. This is how it's going to end, right? Okay, so that's what it's like. You're like, this is how it's going to end for me. I'm going to die in a burning car on the side of the road, right? And so they cut you off. So the first emotion is fear. And then, so I put here, or maybe it's a reaction to an emotion, right? Fear, anger might be a reaction. So I think the weird thing is, when you find yourself being angry, I think you have to ask yourself, where's the anger coming from? Is there an emotion under it, right? Am I afraid right now? And therefore I'm angry at this person, so they'll never do it again? Am I hurt right now? Right? How many of you had your heart broken? You know there's hurt in there, right? You're hurt, and now you're angry. You're angry at that person, right? You don't want them to ever do that to you again, right? So I don't know. This is up to you to decide. I'm just presenting it to you that when you feel anger, because I think what we're always trying to do is search for what's the underlying emotion and can I talk it out, right? Remember the whole Acer thing. If I can acknowledge that I'm a human and have emotions, if I can identify what the emotion is, hurt, and then I can speak it out. I feel hurt when you betray me, right? Because now I gotta sit around and spend my time trying to recover from this event, right? Okay, so this is it. Here's your assignment. It says on page 113, write about whether you believe anger is an emotion or not. Can you identify what emotion has generated anger in you in the past? And that's where I'm asking you to go underneath it and see if you can think about, was there something under the anger that came first? Because then that's the emotion I think you're trying to deal with. Okay.